The video game industry is changing in a massive way. Consolidation is the name of the game as big players start gobbling up studios and talent to ensure their future in this fiercely competitive yet lucrative space. Microsoft showed us how seriously it's taking gaming with unprecedented levels of investment. Sony relies on PlayStation to survive and has already started making big movements in the acquisition space with more promise to follow. So, what studios or publishers should Sony be looking at purchasing? In this video I discuss exactly that. Capcom, a legendary Japanese developer and publisher that has given us classics such as Street Fighter, Resident Evil, Mega Man, Monster Hunter and more. Make no mistake, if Sony managed to acquire Capcom, this would be a huge deal for the gaming industry. Not only would it serve to write off any chance of Xbox being relevant in that region, not that it has to date, but it would make PlayStation the home to some of the biggest names in the gaming space, most obvious of which is Street Fighter. Sony already acquired EVO, the world's largest fighting game tournament, and with Street Fighter exclusively under its belt, this would send shockwaves throughout the fighting game arena. Monster Hunter World saw incredible success with over 20 million copies sold. There are other titles not to be scoffed at, including Resident Evil and Devil May Cry. There are also a whole host of classic dormant IPs that fit really well under the PlayStation banner, including Dino Crisis, Mega Man, Okami, and the cult favorite Power Stone. Capcom is estimated to be worth around $5 billion, which makes this a very viable get for PlayStation, and to me, Capcom represents the best buy for it. CD Projekt Red. The Polish video game developer and publisher has had a very tough time as of late with Cyberpunk 2077, but its pedigree should not be denied. We are already hearing some murmurs of a potential acquisition by Sony of CD Projekt Red, and an acquisition like this makes a lot of sense. Xbox's stranglehold on the Western RPG cannot be denied after the ZeniMax acquisition, and CD Projekt Red with its seminal Witcher series would be a massive boon for PlayStation in this department. The Witcher series is held in high regard by RPG fanatics, and with many citing The Witcher 3 as their game of last generation. Konami seems to have all but given up on gaming, despite once being regarded as one of the giants in the space. Irrespective of its apathy to all things gaming, it hosts a library of excellent IPs and is a publisher that many regard as being on the table for PlayStation for precisely that reason, and most likely going for a comparatively cheaper price because of the publisher's inactivity and lack of recent hits. The big name under Konami is undeniably Metal Gear Solid. Many are egging Sony to buy Konami mainly because of this IP, but one has to ask, what value the Metal Gear Solid series has without the creator Hideo Kojima behind it? Hideo Kojima and Konami parted ways, but it could be possible that Sony somehow could find a way to reconcile the fractured relationship by making an arrangement post-acquisition. Other than Metal Gear Solid, Konami also has classic IPs such as Silent Hill, Castlevania, Bomberman, Pro Evolution Soccer, although to be fair that's not been relevant for quite some time, and other titles under its belt. The problem here is manpower, and talent is scarce in the gaming space, which is very valuable at the moment. Someone needs to work and build these games. Would Sony have the people power to accommodate the development of these IPs, especially since Konami shifted its focus towards mobile gaming in 2015? I'm not so sure. Imagine if PlayStation bought From Software, particularly after the huge hit that is Elden Ring. No doubt it would be an incredible purchase for Sony, but the question is, are From Software even looking to be bought out, particularly in light of its very recent success? Nothing is off the cards, and game developers are also looking to secure their future in an ever-changing industry. Sequels to Bloodborne, Demon's Souls, Sekiro, or even Elden Ring are all massively tantalizing prospects, and if they were to belong to PlayStation, very little could combat it in the increasingly less niche Soulsborne genre. Square Enix and PlayStation have had a good relationship for quite some time, with many timed exclusive deals amongst the two companies being secured. Some question the value in PlayStation acquiring Square Enix owing to how regularly the two companies are in bed with each other, but this purchase makes a lot of sense when there is a lot of synergy and history of successes. Final Fantasy's true home is regarded as a PlayStation, whether you like it or not, and mostly in part due to these timed exclusive deals that make it so. Just as Xbox is poised to own the Western RPG arena, Sony could have complete dominion over the Eastern RPG market with Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and Kingdom Hearts. Beyond that, however, you also have a little-known game known as Tomb Raider. After its acquisition of Bungie, Sony discussed the potential for exploration in the movie industry, and Tomb Raider fits the bill quite easily. You also have other games such as Just Cause and the massively underrated Guardians of the Galaxy. Warner Bros. Interactive and Warner Bros. Games were getting primed by AT&T to be sold last year. Warner Bros. Games has 11 studios listed under it, and it appears as if AT&T are looking at extracting the most value out of the studios. If a sale is actually on the cards, you will no doubt have the likes of Microsoft, Sony, and others circling around like vultures. Why? Because the strength of the IPs cannot be denied. I mean, look at Mortal Kombat. The fighting game has seen incredible success with its latest entries and is a classic in the same vein as Street Fighter. The lesser known, but still relevant fighter is the Injustice series. The Batman Arkham games need no introduction. Almost everyone knows about Harry Potter, and Hogwarts Legacy looks set to be an incredible game. You also have other promising looking games like Suicide Squad, or even dormant IPs like Mad Max that could be put to good use, especially with potential movie game tie-ins. If PlayStation managed to acquire Warner Bros. Interactive, it would have a near monopoly in the superhero department, what with it already having a Wolverine game in the works and a hugely successful Spider-Man in its arsenal. Platinum Games want to be bought out. They have not really made that much a secret. CEO Atsushi Inaba has said that Platinum Games is open to the idea of being acquired as long as it continues to remain independent. Sony has shown that it has had little issue with this, having acquired Bungie and allowing it to remain independent. Platinum Games have had mixed successes, but there really is no other player like it in the space with its unique games such as Bayonetta, Nier Automata, and Astral Chain. There are questions regarding how profitable Platinum Games as a developer is, and I think it's safe to say it doesn't have that mass appeal that perhaps Sony's looking for as far as IPs are concerned. But the studio could be up for sale for a decent price precisely for that reason, and maybe up for grabs for PlayStation. Who knows? The last studio in this video, and one that I think that Sony could or should really eye up, is Kojima Productions. Hideo Kojima is a force in the gaming space, whether you like him or not. The mere rumors of him working with Xbox caused everyone to take notice, and no doubt PlayStation will want to avoid any possibility of that scenario becoming real. Kojima and PlayStation have a long history of successes together, and if PlayStation has the appetite to tolerate Kojima's quirkiness, and there's little reason to suggest otherwise, then this acquisition would be a big deal if it were to ever happen. I also think it would be a much better fit with the PlayStation brand as opposed to Xbox. So there you have it, my list of publishers and developers that I think Sony may or should acquire. We know more acquisitions are coming, and so far, all the acquisitions that have taken place have surprised everyone. Who knows what kind of surprises we are in store for? But one thing to note is the seriousness of the situation for Sony and its PlayStation brand. Despite being the leader in the space, the decisions that PlayStation makes now regarding what publishers or studios it acquires will be fundamental ones for its future, and no one is aware of that more than Sony itself. Who do you think Sony will acquire next? Who do you wish Sony acquires next? Let us know in the comments below and on Gameondaily.com. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.